got a question asking if a landlord or owner of residential property can terminate a tenancy to sell a property if the property is exempt from the Tenants Protection Act, or it's exempt on the California Association of Realtors Forum, RCJC. Hi, my name is Rob Wells. I'm the Landlord War on TikTok and YouTube. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to our videos. Now, I'm going to be talking to a lot of my realtors today because this is a lot of people use the California Association of Realtors forums, the C.A.R. forums, and the form that this realtors or real estate professionals referring to is I think the realtors call it the rent cap and just cause addendum. Okay, so what this form does is it tries to give the disclosures required under the California's Tenants Protection Act of 2019, predominantly the exemption for single dwellings or single family homes. Okay, I got a couple criticisms about the RCJC form and the forms that I've seen in the past that realtors have used. And they may have changed it, but they try to basically do, try to help realtors out, of course, their members and so forth. But sometimes you could try to, break down a form or a statutory disclosure, and it doesn't work well because the Tenants Protection Act is complicated. Okay, it's complicated by design. Okay, and what the C.A.R. form is trying to simplify it as best they can in plain English. And sometimes what you end up doing is when you're trying to simplify things, you kind of skip things that are actually legally required in the Tenants Protection Act. The one big thing I always see with these RCJC forms that the realtors fill out is in the form itself, they get the exemption under the Tenants Protection Act. Their own form states that you have to check this box that has the specific disclosure in there. Okay, so I've seen a lot of realtors mess up on that issue alone. Okay. The law for the Tenants Protection Act, there's only one exemption, the single family homes or single dwellings exemption. You have to have that language that, your property is exempt from Civil Code Section 1946.2 and 1947.12. It's like a verbatim disclosure that's required from the Tenants Protection Act and so forth. I'm not going to go over it here in this TikTok video, but you just have to have that disclosure signed within the rental agreement. Okay. And that's what the law requires. The C.A.R. forms, they tend to have all what the law is and so forth like that. That's where you consult an attorney. Okay. Because it's complicated by design by the legislature, in my opinion. But you take it for what it's worth. I'm don't take a, guy talking on, TikTok for advice. Okay. So these situations are different. To answer this realtor's question, if the property is exempt from the Tenants Protection Act, you have your single dwellings exemption in your lease agreement, or you qualify for another reason, such as you have a new construction with a certificate of occupancy, meaning the building was built within the last 15 years, you're exempt by terms of the Tenants Protection Act in and of itself. So yes, you could terminate the tenancy to facilitate sale of the property. Okay, that is assuming that you have a periodic tenancy, like a month-to-month tenancy, and you can give notice, or if it's a lease term, you can insist on the tenant vacating at the end of the lease term. Okay, assuming the lease doesn't have any automatic renewal provisions and so forth. Okay, we just covered 4 different issues here because every lease is different, or tenancy is different. Every rental agreement is going to be different, and your residential tenancy circumstances may be different. Okay, so it's hard to kind of simplify that in a 30-second video, basically. So yeah, if your tenancy is exempt from the Tenants Protection Act, you don't have to have cause. So yes, you could terminate a tenancy to facilitate a sale of the property. Our videos were, that video that I just reposted the other day that's responding to this question was, is it cause in the Tenants Protection Act? Is it written in the law that, hey, selling your property is cause to terminate the tenancy? The answer is no. Okay, so your mileage is going to vary, and this doesn't even go into if your property is in a locality that has its own eviction control ordinance, which is they have their own rules that governs how you can terminate tenancy. So we're not even talking about local rules or anything like that. So The moral of the story is this: if you're contemplating terminating a tenancy and you don't know if you can legally give a 60-day notice, or if you have to have cause or have to pay relocation assistance, etc., which in a lot of places you do, including under state law, if you're subject to the TPA, it's best to consult with landlord's counsel and get a consult and so forth to figure out how you can legally terminate the tenancy, look at the time frames and so forth, because these issues vary city by city, county by county, and circumstance by circumstance. Okay, there's no cookie cutter answers anymore, like it used to be several years ago before the Tenants Protection Act and all these local rules applying. So if you're a landlord in the Northern California area and you need help terminating the tenancy, feel free to reach out. You can hit our profile below. You can book a free case review on our website. A couple of questions we'll ask to see if we're a good fit or not. We can help you out. Put your comments, questions down below. Until next time, folks, I'll talk to you then. Thanks.